This is one of several ads from the Harris campaign attacking former President Trump's position on abortion. It uses a conservative governing plan called Project 2025 in the ad. First, the Harris campaign uses two clips of Trump at two campaign events. Here they are.
Should abortion be punished?
There has to be some form of punishment.
For 54 years, they were trying to get Roe v. Wade terminated, and I did it, and I'm proud to have done it.
The first clip was from the 2016 campaign, the second from a Fox News town hall this past January. We find that both clips are real and are being used in the correct context in this ad. The ad next makes claims about what Trump would do about abortion if in office again.
Now Donald Trump wants to go further with plans to restrict birth control, ban abortion nationwide, even monitor women's pregnancies.
The Harris campaign is using a plan called Project 2025 as the basis for these claims, even using the page numbers where you can find the plans. Project 2025 is a policy roadmap drafted by the conservative think tank, the Heritage Foundation. It says it was written for a future presidential administration to use, and on its website, it says it does not speak for any candidate or campaign in any capacity. More on that in a minute. But first, let's check the policies the Harris campaign highlighted. Restricting birth control. On page 483, Project 2025 does call for the federal government to reinstate religious and moral exemptions to the Affordable Care Act. That would allow some companies to drop insurance coverage for birth control, which could cause their employees to have less access to birth control. As for the claim that Project 2025 calls for a ban on abortion nationwide, that absolute abortion ban does not appear in the plan. The pages that are cited in the ad show the plan does call for the end of birth control sent through the mail and also calls for the government to reverse its approval of abortion drugs like mifepristone, which would even further restrict birth control. And as for monitoring women's pregnancies, the plan advocates for more detailed reporting of abortions across the country, including requiring each state to report how many abortions take place within their borders and the circumstances, like whether it's a spontaneous miscarriage, induced abortion, or other reason. Now let's talk about Project 2025 and its relationship with the Trump campaign. You saw that Project 2025 says it is not affiliated with any campaign. And after Democrats started using it to attack Trump, Trump disavowed it. Here's one of his posts from Truth Social. There are, though, connections between Project 2025 and Trump. Several of the plan's authors served in the Trump administration, and News 8 found this video of Trump speaking at a 2022 dinner for the Heritage Foundation, the group behind Project 2025, the week after the Project 2025 initiative was announced. This is what he said about the Heritage Foundation.
But this is a great group, and they're going to lay the groundwork and detail plans for exactly what our movement will do and what your movement will do when the American people give us a colossal mandate to save America, and that's coming. That's coming.
We also found this news release from the Heritage Foundation. When Project 2025 first launched, it touts the fact that when Trump was in office, his administration relied heavily on previous policy guidance from the Heritage Foundation, saying the administration embraced nearly 2/3 of Heritage's proposals within just 1 year in office. We expect the Harris campaign and Democrats will continue trying to tie Project 2025 to Trump for the rest of the election. So now hopefully you have a better sense of the context to make your own judgment on that. As for Trump's position on abortion, though, the ad we're checking, as you saw, accuses him of planning a nationwide abortion ban. This is what he said in the presidential debate with Vice President Harris.
I'm not signing a ban, and there's no reason to sign a ban.
He also was asked in the debate multiple times if he, as president again, would veto a national abortion ban. He did not answer. Instead, turned the conversation elsewhere. Getting the facts, Matt Barquero, WGAL News 8.